WWE Raw was certainly not an uneventful show this week. A lot happened during the course of the night for sure, but whether the events were positive or negative still remains to be seen. For what it was worth, this was not a boring show at all. One can't complain that she was bored while watching WWE Raw this week. And that has to be a positive development for sure. At the same time, quite a few decisions left us scratching our heads. If you thought the same, or even believe otherwise, let us know in the comments section below. How would you rate the addition of WWE Raw after Money in the Bank out of 10? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3, Best and Worst. John Cena opened WWE Raw this week. What happens when a pro wrestling legend whose primary feud is on SmackDown shows up on WWE Raw? He gets a raucous ovation for sure. Even puts a young talent like Riddle over, but overall, in the grander scheme of things, nothing really happens during the segment. Yes, there was absolutely nothing wrong with the way that Cena opened WWE Raw this week, and what he did with Riddle was pretty entertaining as well. That said, there was a missed opportunity to maybe tease a future showdown with a heel from the brand, be it Jinder Mahal, or Sheamus, or better yet, Bobby Lashley. Fans genuinely seemed excited by the way that WWE Raw opened this week, and one has to believe that they expected a little more than they got. That aside, it's so cool that John Cena still considers WWE his home and the WWE Universe's very own family. Is there anyone from the Raw brand you think he could have a great feud with? Number 2 Best. Nikki ASH becomes the WWE Raw Women's Champion. WWE Raw may have had its shares of ups and downs, but it did end on a positive note. Nikki ASH cashed in her Money in the Bank contract, and she is your brand new WWE Raw Women's Champion. Sure, some may believe that it's far too soon for her to win the WWE Raw Women's Championship, but anything that freshens up the division is a positive. Honestly, Reginald winning big on WWE Raw also freshens up the 24/7 championship picture, which was simply oscillating between two men. Let's hope that Vince McMahon can sustain this momentum across future episodes. Number 2, Worst. Karrion Kross loses his debut. This has to be some sort of joke or rib. How do you take a talented guy like Karrion Kross, separate him from Scarlett, and ruin all of his NXT momentum by having him pinned in his Raw debut? It doesn't make any sense. Let's just hope that his comeback, his revenge, his next step makes up for this week's first effort. Number 1, Best. Goldberg's return on WWE Raw locked in a massive SummerSlam match. Goldberg returned to WWE Raw and the crowd was blazing hot for him. There is obviously a section of the audience that does not care for him, but honestly, the reaction proved that he is still a massive draw. With Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins versus Edge, and Roman Reigns versus John Cena locked in for SummerSlam, it is definitely guaranteed to be a show for the ages. As with every Goldberg match, it's impossible to predict who's going over during the clash. Number 1, Worst. Did it have to come at the cost of Keith Lee? The sight of Keith Lee coming to WWE Raw must have warmed the heart of many fans. The sight of him coming back to lose must have infuriated just as many of his supporters. Yes, losing to the WWE Champion in a big WWE Raw match is never a bad thing, but Lee needed to secure a win after his time away. This wasn't the right way to bring him back, honestly. WWE Chairman Vince McMahon is reportedly a fan of new Raw Women's Champion Nikki ASH. She was rewarded with the Money in the Bank win and the women's title for the initiative she took in creating her new gimmick. A report by Wrestling News, following Nikki ASH's win at Money in the Bank on Sunday night, has revealed that Vince McMahon loves the Raw star's new superhero gimmick. Her new gimmick has opened up a world of opportunities to sell more merchandise as well as being involved in community outreach programs for kids. Here's what the report said. Vince loves the gimmick and feels that she has opened up a world of opportunities to sell more merchandise and for her to do some community outreach with the kids. She took the initiative, and she got rewarded last night. She brings a lot to the table, and she made herself much more valuable with this superhero gimmick. Vince McMahon and the WWE creative team are reportedly pleased with Nikki ASH, while those in the locker room like her as well. Nikki ASH, formerly known as Nikki Cross, has had an incredible 24 hours in WWE. She won the Women's Money in the Bank contract on Sunday night, which was probably the highlight of her career. The following night on Raw, she cashed in her briefcase on Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and defeated her. Flair was in a match with Rhea Ripley in the main event of Raw, a rematch from the night before at Money in the Bank. The Queen lost by disqualification and was attacked by Ripley, following which Nikki seized on the opportunity and cashed in her contract. This was Nikki ASH's first singles title in WWE, adding to the 2 women's tag team titles she previously held in the company. At WWE Money in the Bank 2021, Big E outlasted 7 other superstars to win the contract and get the opportunity to challenge for a championship of his choosing, anytime, anywhere. the majority of the previous Money in the Bank briefcase holders have successfully cashed in and won world championships. Big E has a chance to etch his name in history if he plays his cards right. In a recent interview with WWE India, Big E discussed his win at Money in the Bank and what the future holds for him in WWE. "I want to be myself," said Big E. "I want to have fun with it. I also want it to be about purpose and determination. I'm here to be a champion and I'm here to solidify my legacy. I don't just do this for myself. I do this for Kofi and Woods because I know I didn't get here without them. I hope the reaction for that cash-in when I finally do it, when I finally become champion, I hope that's one of those all-time great pops too." Big E will likely address his Money in the Bank win this Friday at WWE SmackDown, which you can watch on Sony 10.1, Sony 10.3 and the Sony LIV app. The top two current champions in WWE are Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley, but both titles could change hands come SummerSlam given the strong challenges that await them at the biggest party of the summer. Reigns has already been challenged by the returning John Cena, who is looking to become a record-breaking 17-time WWE World Champion. Meanwhile, Goldberg returned to WWE Raw last night to confront WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. Who do you think Big E will cash in on? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Jimmy's recent DUI arrests seem to have had no impact on his on-screen standing as Jimmy and Jay won the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship at Money in the Bank. Instead of being reprimanded for his umpteenth DUI charge, WWE didn't unsettle its storyline dynamics and went ahead with the title change. Every member of the Bloodline now has gold around their waist, but a section of the fanbase is unhappy with WWE's lenient approach towards Jimmy's case. Vince Russo addressed the matter on the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw with Dr. Chris Featherstone. The former WWE head writer alluded to stockholders turning a blind eye to Jimmy's arrest. As reported earlier, WWE has a lot at stake in Roman Reigns' Universal Championship reign as the promotion has a long-term plan for a match against The Rock. The ongoing John Cena angle also has to be considered, and Vince Russo pitched a brilliant storyline idea to incorporate Jimmy's real-life incident into WWE programming. Russo stated that Jimmy should come clean to Roman Reigns about his issues with alcoholism. The WWE veteran added that Roman Reigns should then beat up Jimmy instead of showing sympathy. Russo felt that an angle using Jimmy's real problems would increase the heat on Roman Reigns. "Bro, what about? And I don't even watch SmackDown. But what about Reigns reprimanding him, and then Jimmy breaks down and just says, 'Listen, man, you know, I've got an issue, man. I'm an addict, man. I'm an alcoholic, bro.' Like he really breaks down. 'I've tried, I've gone to rehab. I've done this, and I've done that, man. What do you want me to do? I'm sick. Do you know what I'm saying?' And then Reigns beats the crap out of him. Do you know what I'm saying? You could have actually done the angle and put more heat on Reigns for it," explained Vince Russo. "You know, bro, it's funny because you hear about they are PG, because we have stockholders now, this and that. Well, I guess the stockholders don't matter in a case like this," said Russo. Russo added that utilizing real-life elements in pro wrestling storytelling helps earn the respect of fans. Stuff like that would make people respect the show. Will respect the show, not like, "Wait a minute, bro, you're going to reward that guy." It would get the complete opposite, positive reaction, concluded Russo. Roman Reigns is heading for a big SummerSlam showdown against John Cena, and Jimmy and Jay will continue to play a pivotal role in the Tribal Chief's run as WWE's premier bad guy. However, did WWE commit a mistake by not punishing Jimmy? Should the company have blurred the lines between reality and kayfabe? Let us know what you think in the comments section.